Welcome and good morning to you. This is the Breakfast Club. My name is Zenzele and Ndebele, and you're joining us on Asakhe Online. As usual, every day we touch into Zlupayo, into Hambayo, and all those kind of things. And today, not a lot of news headlines as such, but I have two issues that I think I want to just touch on. The first one is that Zimsek has said that the English O level that was written last year in November should actually be rewritten, and they've actually set, I think, February 17 as the date where all those who wrote the English for last year, English paper for last year, should go back to their schools and rewrite. I think this is a first of his kind in Zimbabwe, because imagine abantwana base-Goli, base-UK, bamelele results, they've not been reading because they think that they finished school, and all of a sudden they are now supposed to pick books and try and find their candidate numbers and all those kind of things. And probably it's because there was a paper leaked somewhere Harare, and umntwana osecholocho kalekanga ipaper akabonanga osemadlambuzi uthwele nzima wayebala. I mean, it's very unfair, and I think someone needs to really take this issue to court and try and challenge it and see whether it can be challengeable in court, because I find it very stressing. It's very stressing for parents because kids are all over. It's also stressing for kids because now they have to think of isikolo, A-level and all those kind of things. And if the imagine 17, how long will it take to mark paper? My results as a puza in March, April. So I don't know really what Zimsek is doing, but I will say maybe Operation Restore or the heads must roll as Zimsek. And I think the president and his deputy, who happens to be retired Army General Chiwenga, should have a small discussion in jail. And also the other thing that is going doing the rounds basically is the meeting. There's a meeting of politicians that happened in South Africa, Cape Town, where a lot of opposition parties were seen. Umjuru bekhona ngale, uDumiso Tabengwa bekhona ngale. Of course, Thokozani Kupe was there, Umonzora was there, and I think this is the meeting ends a few days ago. Emerson Mnangagwa umhete waqasa ukhulumento ezingathambanga laphana because of this alliance. But I want to Chief Tanzania babone ma picture ngwabonile. So I'm not sure whether they were represented by someone or they were not there. But I have a question. Won't it be better if the two alliances, then the MDCT Alliance and the Zimbabwe Alliance, comes together and they have one broad alliance? And I think that would be one good day, one happy day for Zimbabweans if all these opposition parties will come together and say, guys, we're contesting as a broad alliance. And of course, I know it's possible, but the problem is MP. MP the proportional representation, but the question is president alliance, because it's always about power. Here to have the space to discuss. So today I'll be talking to Thabitha Khumalo. Simbuza rapano within the 5 years MP. What has changed? What are the challenges that she has faced? How does she see politics since the removal of Mugabe? Because she was one of the people who really celebrated. And above all, is she contesting the elections next year?
Baba Zenzele siphilile sibili mbambayila ngamandla.
It's been almost 5
discuss issues of the constituents. There is this, whether we call it Big Brother or I don't know where they get that belief, but you will find to say each suburb wants them to be taken as them only. So it becomes difficult and there's a lot of driving, a lot.
So ngasikhuluma ukuthi when MP weBulawayo South that
Bulawayo East.
Yeah, Bulawayo East, yeah. Okay, Bulawayo East Bulawayo South. So Bulawayo East is stretcher okunganani? Isuka ngaphi siya?
Ngisuka Woodrow. Ngiyephelele entaba moya. Ngisuke ngo Robert Mugabe. Ngiyehle ngiyephelela ku Kwanda Road lapha nokubhale welcome to Bulawayo. So konke ngehla ngapha ngisuke eBenside ngisiye Waterford ngiphelele yawo manje.
So you have parts ezingamakhaya kule town, kule masquatter camp, kule maplazinyana, amaplots bese kusuba labadala laba beBenside abalezimali abalimoto ezingaka. How do you then take into consideration ama interests?
abadala laba iningi labo, especially abama-benside laba abalezimali zabo, kabathandi ukuthi ubanxuse lapho esingabe sixoxisana khona. So esandisa ukukwenza ukuthi siyenze ama-flyers bese sifaka kuma-letterbox, silethemba ukuthi bazavula babale, ngoba iningi labo kabafuni ukuthi ungani uyabadisturba emzini yabo. Nxa sokusisiya esquadeni sesigqoka amajambo, ngoba ngale kule nkalakatha ilonye udumo wangazulubona. Kuyafika esikhathini ukuthi enxawuzo kulo sabhuku esquadeni sami ekhilane ukuthi bayiregister. Laba abalezindlu zabo bengithandaza nje ukuthi bazazinika isikhathi nxa sebekhululekile ukuthi bayiregister. So ngilethemba ukuthi bazathatha lelo thuba ukuthi bayiregister.
You know, the challenge that most politicians have, maybe MPs and all these people, ukuthi you are expected ama-residents ukuthi ungaba lemfa udonate ichukela, i-transport, kungaba nomuntu oxotshiwe ku-squatter camp, help them and all those kind of things, but you have no resource allocation from parliament within a constituency. How do you manage to give this and that to all these people?
We are literally multi-purpose service provider. But I think the problem that we have is that we have failed to educate the populace that what is the role of a member of parliament. We've only got 3 roles: legislative, representative, and oversight. But unfortunately, government has failed to meet the service delivery for the populace. So, and the ZANU-PF introduced this ideology that a member of parliament is a service provider, which is very wrong, because then it then finds us wanting, and then we are blamed by the community instead of the community blaming government. Because my role basically is for government to allocate funding to the respective ministries, and then as the member of parliament I go to the institutions that are the beneficiaries of that funding, so as to see whether that money is being used for the real cause that it was allocated. So I think there is a need for government, parliament to educate the populace of who should be held accountable on service delivery, other than penalizing us as members of parliament, because the funds that we are using are basically our salaries, because the only source of funding at the moment is our salaries, and you all know everybody has been hyped about us receiving $30,000 and driving Ford Rangers and all that. But one thing that they don't realize, this is my second term.
They start pretending to be about delivery service. They start talking about this colo, they start talking about these things, which are things that they cannot do.
Yes.
So what can be done with my MPs in my campaign? Is it because by vote, or because at the end of the day they raise some expectations about?
Very true. Konoko we can take MPs. So isikhathi sesifikile njengani oZenzele ukuthi sifundise uZulu ukuthi hayibo kawusiwe umsebenzi wethu wona lo. Owethu umsebenzi ukuthi sibone ukuthi uhulumende uyafeza imfuno kaZulu ngesikhathi okumele ifezwe ngayo, ngezimali ezivela kuZulu, ngoba imali kahulumende imali evela kuZulu.
I think you are one of the lucky groups of MPs who were in Parliament the day Mugabe resigned, and we can't forget your image on BBC, CNN, and everywhere. Very happy that Mugabe uhambile, and it's now December, January, 3rd month since Mugabe left.
Yes.
Do you think something has changed?
No, nothing has changed. Basically, what we did on the celebration of Mugabe leaving, I want you to know that as the movement for democratic change led by Ubaba Utwangirai, one of the Congress resolutions that were given by the people of Zimbabwe in 2011 was that Mugabe must go. And I think most of you, if you go to the archives, you'll find there were some rallies where we were going, where we had red cards written Mugabe must go. And to me, it was an achievement of implementing that resolution, first and foremost. And secondly, the reason why I celebrated was that Mugabe killed our loved ones during Kukuraundi. And to this day, we are taken as commoners, useless people who don't want to go to school. We are labeled thieves, prostitutes, you name it. Just because somebody took away the livelihood of the survivors of Gukurahundi to an extent that they have denied them the right to be identified to be Zimbabweans. So to me, it was a celebration of a president who has ruled this country for 37 years and killed our loved ones, and by him going and calling it a moment of madness, to me, it was the most beautiful feeling where I could release the pain that I've been going through for the past 37 years, and the hope that it will give us the opportunity to sit and put our heads together as the affected and demand what has to be done to correct that ill.
So now we have a new comrade in power who was also part of the Gukurahundi vice wakhe, and we have these issues as a national healing and commission is national healing and reconciliation and all that. Do you think they will do something really out of this one?
The sad thing about politicians is that we have lost the art of listening. It's an art, and it's no longer found in politicians. The issue of Gukurahundi is that leaders have failed to consult the people. The people that were affected with Gukurahundi have the solutions to that problem. All what we need to do is listen and ask the right questions. The issue of national healing, the works and what have you, understandable, right? Yet it has to be there. But there is this healing that we've got to do before the national healing sits down and asks questions to people. And one area that we really have to work very hard on is the issue of identity. We have 37-year-olds who don't have IDs. They have kids, they have wives. Their kids don't have IDs. Eh? Now, that same person cannot own a house. He cannot have a medical aid. He cannot open a bank account. Just because the government of Zimbabwe killed their parents and denied them the right to identity. So to me, the first thing that anybody that is the age of the Gukurahundi atrocity, questions should not be asked. I've had the opportunity of going to the registrar's office to try and help one of the survivors. The requirements are beyond your imagination. You have to go to the hospital where you are given birth to and get a birth record. You've got to get fingerprints, and you have also then have to go and identify somebody elder who was there when you were given birth to. Kids were left. How is a 2-year-old able to remember who was there when he or she was being given birth to? And why are we putting all these rules when government knows that they killed people? That's the first healing. Today, people from Ndebele are accused of going to school up to grade 7 and going to SA. The law in this country says no child can write grade 7 examination without a birth certificate. So what these kids are doing is they go to grade 7, they don't write, they are slightly older, they go to SA. I had the opportunity of being a porter jam. I had one 14-year-old, the other was I think 13, and the other one I think was about 20. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable where you are carried by these Malaychas and you are dumped in the middle of nowhere. There are no houses, there's nothing, let alone you can't even see animals. You have to walk 5, 6, 7, 10 k's. And then there's another person that you have got to meet, that you have to pay. Then he makes you cross the next hurdle, then you go to the next one. You will spend something like a week trying to find a way to Joburg. And why are they going there? They are able to maneuver and get some form of identity, whether legal or otherwise. Now, why are we failing as a country to give them those identities? Because the government of ZANU-PF have killed their family. So give them the identity first and foremost, then we can go for the healing.
So do you think the new commission that is there will be able to address these issues that you're highlighting?
Last time there was a bone of contention when they were saying we have to deal with the atrocities that they do not take to the ground. It must start from 2008. Yes, there was a genocide in 2008 where MDC communities were slaughtered like animals. But now the bottom line is, how can we forget and brush it away? Because President Mnangagwa has this latest phrase that let bygones be bygones. How do I let bygones to be bygones when at 37 years one doesn't have an ID? They have no life. So there are no bygones. Let's correct what needs to be corrected in terms of the law. And then we meet and talk about the atrocities, and it gives us the opportunity to air out our pain. And there is no compensation in whatever amount that can bring back our loved ones. But the only compensation that we should have is, for example, infrastructure development in the Ndebele area. Because if you look from Mat North, Mat South, Bulawayo, the only infrastructure that every single one that is sitting here has ever known and seen was done by the Smith regime. Secondly, the other infrastructure that was done was the pension funds. And those pension funds were monies of the family.
Soon. And to start with, are you contesting the next election?
As the MDC, we had our Congress in 2014, where we came up with the resolutions vis-a-vis in preparation of 2018. One of the areas of our resolution was the issue of the big tent, the convergence, and the alliance. As we are all aware, we now have an MDC Alliance of 7 opposition political parties. So there is need of sharing of seats. So we are waiting for the respective leadership to come back to us in terms of what they've agreed on the allocation of seats. And again, if need be, that my seat must go. So let it be. Because it's not about me being an MP. It is about removing the Zimbabwean people from this bondage. And if it means giving away seats in order for us to win, why not? And a very good example, Zenzele, is the issue of, let's say for example, we are in the middle of nowhere and we're in a crisis. And somebody comes and says, the only way for you guys to get out of this crisis, you need this car. But I'm selling this car for $100. And now you have $99 and I have $1. If you and me refuse to combine that 99 and $1 to make it, and we won't buy that car, we will die there. And a very good example is that we did split as the MDC. MDC 99, MDC Walsh, Mango, Mabiti. If you ask all those leaders, what have they achieved by us splitting nothing? They have not removed ZANU. ZANU is still in power. It's not about how many people you have. Do you know that if we would have voted and we are missing just one vote, we will lose that election? So everybody matters. 1, 2 votes, they do matter. And the time for us has come to put our heads together as and the opposition political parties. It's no longer about me, myself, and I. It's about us and the people of Zimbabwe. So the time has come for leaders, political leaders, to listen to people. President Tsvangirai went all over Zimbabwe, consulting people on the issue of alliance. People were very clear. You have to converge in order to avoid splitting votes. But they also told him, be careful of opportunists and mercenaries. And I think it's an open secret. We now know who the opportunists are. So to me, if my seat needs to be allocated, I will gladly allocate it to the alliance.
Talking about the issue of alliance, there's been a lot of resistance on the alliance, especially on the side of Ndebele, where people are saying, what do you think? What could be the issue, or is it internally within the alliance? There was no consultation, or
2014 we had our Congress. The same people that today are standing up and saying they don't want the alliance, they boggle my mind. Because those resolutions that said we should have a big tent, a convergence, and alliance were tabled at our Congress where they were elected. Everybody who was at the Congress has a right to challenge resolutions, have them amended, repealed, or adopted. Why didn't they raise that issue during the Congress? 4 years down the line, they are coming back and lying to people that they were never consulted. They were part and parcel of those resolutions, wrong or right. That's what came up. Now, I'm sure you're all aware that as the MDC, we believe in constitutionalism. Now, if we were seen again coming from a Congress, we have resolutions that become constitutional, then you expect us, people are now expecting us to violate those resolutions. So who's fooling who? It's not that these resolutions were not there. They were more interested in positions than looking at what are planning for ourselves for the next 5 years. The same resolution are coming back to bite them. They're now crying foul. What foul are they crying?
But what is interesting is that okay, my question would be, we have seen a picture circulating about people who are in Cape Town discussing the Zimbabwe alliance. So my question would be, how different is the Zimbabwe alliance from the alliance that is already there?
Precise my point. We have an alliance as the MDC, but we have got leadership who are elected at Congress who have decided to go to Cape Town without even consulting anybody within the MDC. I am a standing committee member. I have no clue how they are there and what they are doing there and from whose instruction, because nothing was communicated to us. It then shows you that we have people that are literally power hungry, and to them it's all about position but not the livelihood of the people, and to me that is very wrong. And I think the world must know that there are two types of politicians. The one that wants to be somebody, those are the people who are mostly interested about themselves and their family and no one else. And the one that wants to do something, where let us be us, not I. So their trip to Cape Town, obviously maybe they're trying to find their way in terms of which positions that they are going to hold. And that doesn't carry water because it's not about them, it's about the people of Zimbabwe. And Zimbabweans must decide.
So are we likely to see another split within the MDC?
I don't think so. There's no split. What is there is those that are not interested in following the policies and the constitution of the MDC. It's a voluntary organization. They were never forced to join. They have all the right, constitutionally, to go and form their own parties or join whichever party of their choice that they think will usher in what they want in terms of which positions that they want to hold. And I want to come back to the issue of you.
And the MDC seems to be, maybe need another Operation Restore Legacy within the... You seem to be moving from all sorts of directions, no order, no leadership. But are you guys internally talking and trying to rally behind whoever you're going to choose, if ever you have a new leader or the leader that is there? Because you're just a few months towards the elections, but you're so disorganized.
It's Ndebele, but uma inkonyane isidiyiza isifuna ukuthi iphume alidliwe yasidliwe sitshisa endle. So sesigabeni soneso ukuthi hayi isisu sesihela ngesikhathi isisu sesihela kuba lo dubu lunye ukuthi la unje soyabaleka endle simchiye umama isithwele, but inkonyane angayidiliza sonke sibuya siphethe amaphepha bag lezimnandi. So we will regroup. We are okay. It's just a handful of people who are just power hungry, trying to destroy the people's struggle. And like I said, as the MDC, we're a mandate-driven party, and the people will decide.
So, do you think you're going to win these coming elections?
Yes. If we follow what the people want, the issue of alliance, we will definitely win. Because every single party, opposition party in this country is fighting ZANU-PF. And the time has come for us to put our heads together and fight ZANU-PF. And then what happens after fighting ZANU-PF is something else. But the key is we have to remove ZANU and restore the legacy of Zimbabwe.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thabitha Khumalo. That was Thabitha Khumalo, the MP for Bulawayo East, sharing with us her work and the challenges with the, as an MP and also with the party. And we know that there are elections coming up, and a lot of people are saying, you know, what is the MDC doing? Are they going to win the elections? Are they going to unite? Is there going to be an alliance and so forth? So the next few weeks are going to be very critical as people prepare for the elections, and we'll see how it shapes up. Till we meet again, have a good day.